here on ESPN Radio. At Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs or replacements. Real value with honest service you can count on. Mile after mile, it's a limited lifetime tire guarantee only at Midas. Guys, Sunday Night Football this week is an enormous game in terms of the standings, in terms of measuring how good these teams are. But, yeah, there's probably something that's going to overshadow it. Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers take on Michelle Smallman's Green Bay Packers at home in Pittsburgh. Revenge game for Rodgers? He was asked about it this week.
You don't view this as a, quote, revenge opportunity or whatever narrative we want to try to throw out there?
I don't.
How do you view this then?
Why not? Well, Brett got traded, and then he went to one of the hated rivals. You know, I was in New Jersey for a couple of years. I don't have any animosity toward the organization. Obviously, I wish that, you know, things have been better in our last year there, but, you know, I have a great relationship with a lot of people still in that organization.
Can I tell you something? I believe him.
You do?
Yeah, I actually do.
Okay.
I think his Jets experience was so horrific that he started loving the Packers in a way that's like, you know how when people break up and then you realize the next person they're dating looks exactly like the last person they dated? And you're like, what are you, dating the same person? You know what he looked for? He looked for the Packers again. That's the Steelers. Does he like Brian Gutekunst? No, they don't like him.
I was about to say, man.
So you're telling me
he's cool with Jordan Love.
He tried to switch it up and go against his type, and it didn't work out. It was a disaster.
Yeah. All he wanted forever was, I want to be in control. Then the Jets gave him control, and it was a disaster. So you know what he did? He's like, I don't want to be in control anymore. Where can I go?
He's like,
Mike Tomlin's going to run that team, not me.
Wait a second. A functional franchise is when the football people make football decisions, and there's stability and not drama?
Has he given us any ammo this week?
No, not at all.
No, and I think that's the point. I'm so far away from your read on this Aaron Rodgers thing.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
That is the definition of a sports lie. Because as a former player, I can tell you, any team that was willing to let you walk out of the building, you can't wait to stick it to them when you play them. Period.
I understand.
Doesn't matter how good it was.
Especially something like this where you had 18 years there.
Exactly.
But who does
You
he
wanna stick
dislike
it to
more,
him.
the Packers or the Jets?
I don't think that's relevant in this scenario because
Why?
here's why I think he's
Does
approaching
it matter
this
if
way.
you dislike the Jets?
Yeah, I don't think that matters. I think that he knows that Green Bay is going to be his forever football home. And so he doesn't want to do anything to upset that fan base or say anything inflammatory ahead of this game because when it's all said and done for him, that's where he's going to be honored.
home.
That's going to be the place where he wants the good memories to exist. So he's not trying to fan those flames right now, but I'm with you. He is a competitive guy. He wants to go out there and torch them. And this is such a Jordan Love game for me. It's unbelievable. I'm looking at Jordan Love, and we still have these questions about him. Can you be elite? Can you accomplish what the guy before you did? Well, you're playing him this weekend in front of the whole world, and you're playing a Pittsburgh Steelers team where Joe Flacco and the Bengals just put up 33 points against them. If Jordan Love is ever going to have a wow game this season, this is the one. This is when you step up when everyone's watching against the guy who was there before you, and you show everybody that you're elite.
So what is a wow? Hold on, time out. What does a wow game look like?
I want him to look like a franchise quarterback, like a guy who can take over a game and win it. Not short, safe things. I don't want it to be a Josh Jacobs game. Listen, the win is the most important thing, obviously.
Okay.
But we have seen Jordan Love be the reason why the Packers can win. We have seen him in the playoffs step up and be unbelievable. We've seen him in the back half of seasons be unbelievable. And he's had a good season so far, but I want to see him be great.
So you want to see Jordan Love go out there and play like Joe Flacco did on Thursday Night Football in Week 6.
What a weird statement to make in 2025.
I mean,
it's so true, though. I want him to torch the Steelers defense.
Well, the Steelers defense has shown they can be God, especially in the passing game, if the Green Bay Packers offensive line can hold up in pass protection. That's going to be the key. But thinking about this from the Steelers' perspective, this is a big game for them. They made it a big game by losing to the Cincinnati Bengals last week on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Because now they're in a stretch of games where they've got the Packers, they've got the Colts, on the road against the Chargers, and then home against the Bengals again. And that's not even considering the next couple of opponents, the Chicago Bears and the Buffalo Bills. Who knows where those two teams will be, but those are not considered easy outs. So if you're Pittsburgh, you've made your bed. Now you got to lay in it. This is a gotta-have-it situation because there's no world that exists where you can go out and lose this game to the Green Bay Packers and think that you can still run away with the AFC North division title.
So bigger game for the Steelers or for Rodgers? I'm sorry, for Rodgers or the Packers, excuse me. Bigger game for Rodgers or the Packers?
I think the Packers for sure.
And you're still leaning into the Jordan Love has that big numbers thing because they've won a lot of games this year. 4-1-1, but
Listen,
they've won
in the
games
end,
without the big numbers.
I mean, here's the thing.
I just want him to have a statement game. For
Yeah.
all those people that are still on the fence about him, this is the perfect opportunity to have a statement game. When everyone is watching, it's against the guy that was there before you. The defense, as CC said, is right for the taking. You have the ability to do it. Go out there and show everyone why you deserve to be in that elite conversation.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And you're not wrong in terms of Jordan Love being able to change the perception about him in the eyes of everybody. But when I'm sitting here thinking about it, who's this a bigger game for? I mean, it feels like it's a bigger game for Rodgers, if for no other reason because it's a bigger game for the Steelers. It's a bigger game for Mike Tomlin, the magnitude, the stakes of it, because there is no excuse as to why the Pittsburgh Steelers shouldn't win their division with all of the misfortune that all the other teams in the division have had to deal with. Right? If you're the Green Bay Packers, okay, you're in the most competitive division in all of football, or at least one of, and you would be one of 3 teams that has 2 losses. I guess my whole point is I don't see how a loss to Pittsburgh derails Green Bay's season. Conversely, if the Pittsburgh Steelers lose, then all of a sudden there are a whole lot of questions about whether or not this team can not only get to the playoff, but can they get to the postseason? Can they win their division? And is Mike Tomlin and we know Aaron Rodgers is not the future, but is Mike Tomlin the right coach for them moving forward into the future? I just think this is a huge stakes game for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Not the only revenge game this weekend. We will get to another one after Smalls has this from ESPN Bets. It's Radio 94 WIP. Yeah, the Rodgers-Packers game, not the only revenge game. We showed up to MetLife Stadium a couple of Thursdays ago.
Yep.
We were there. We were in the building. And we were there thinking, oh, well, okay, Eagles win, and Giants still could have a good showing, and CC, as a Giants fan, could leave there happy. Hey, I got a quarterback, but whatever, didn't get the win, no big deal. Well, the Giants won. And now they play each other again this weekend.
You're welcome, Giants.
What?
Because we were there.
Because we were there.
Oh, you're taking credit.
Every time we go to a game, the home team wins.
That's right.
Okay.
You're welcome, Giants.
All right, yeah. So, yes, you're welcome, Giants. Sorry. Well, this one now is taking a little bit of a twist because A.J. Brown, star wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, misses his 2nd straight day of practice. The Giants are banged up. So what does this mean for this weekend in terms of these 2 teams, guys? Because, CC, you've said, and you've been adamant, the way the Eagles are playing currently, pass first, no Saquon running game is not a method to a Super Bowl title. The Giants obviously have been really exciting around a quarterback, but 19-0 lead, 26-8 in the 4th quarter against Denver, and they lost the game. It's an interesting one this weekend. What are we looking for with these 2 teams coming up on Sunday?
Well, I'm looking to see what happens with A.J. Brown and whether or not the frustrations continue to boil over and lead to inconsistency in the offense. I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg in terms of which comes first. All I know is there's a problem in Philly. And the performance that we saw against the Minnesota Vikings should have done a lot to be able to quell whatever issues that the receiver had. But clearly they didn't. And I thought about it a little bit more. And maybe that is why he's increasingly frustrated, because he knows what he's capable of, because he just showed what he's capable of doing, not only to the rest of the football world, but to the people in that building. And yet they don't consistently lean on him. A.J. Brown is averaging career lows in yards per reception, receiving yards per game. 4 of the 7 games that the Eagles have played, he's had 43 receiving yards or fewer. So when we consider all of the different factors, you can understand why a player that is considered by many to be top 5 at the position is frustrated that he's not being utilized more, when you just saw in week 7 that throwing the ball to him usually translates to him being able to win his one-on-one matchup, and that ultimately helped with team success.
It's kind of amazing that you're able to have that much team success when A.J. Brown is having career lows in so many categories and you haven't seen Saquon go off yet. It's kind of amazing that this offense has been able to win 5 games. But I'm looking at this one, and yes, a lot has to do with the Eagles, A.J. Brown, and what we're going to see from this offense. But I'm also looking so much at the Giants and Jackson Dart, who was able to get the best of them in New York, obviously, on Thursday Night Football in a short week. But the Giants haven't won in Philly since 2013. It's been a long time. You know what that crowd is going to be like. You know what that environment is going to be like. If Jackson Dart can not only beat the Eagles twice this season, but he can go into Philly and beat them, that is going to say a whole lot about this Giants team.
Well, let's discuss this because Diana Rossini, NFL insider for The Athletic, was on with Rich Eisen, noon until 3 Eastern here on ESPN Radio, Monday through Friday, and had this to say about the Giants' future as it's determined by this game this weekend.
This is going to be a really good test for both teams, really, especially for the Giants. They are emotionally spent from that game. When I talked to some people there on Monday, even bleeding into Tuesday a bit, of just like reaction to that game, of how they all felt. Like they know they had to move on, but I think this is going to be this game against the Eagles, that's going to determine everything about the New York Giants moving forward. Everything.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting point because if you think about it, if they lose this weekend, which is what they probably should do when you're playing the defending Super Bowl champions and you beat them previously on their home field, the Giants will drop to 2-6. And normally when you have a rookie quarterback or an unsettled quarterback situation, you usually don't care about the record of the coach. You just care about the development of the quarterback. For example, we have not for 1 second on our show brought up Kellen Moore's record as a head coach this year.
No.
All we care about is, do the Saints feel like they're heading in the right direction? And Spencer Rattler may not be an every game full-time starter, but they feel like they're getting better. Thus, we don't care about the record. Here's where the unique part of the Giants falls for me. Jackson Dart is clearly the guy and clearly getting better. But Brian Daboll kind of has to care about his record, doesn't he? Because he's been there for a few years. Are we just going to dismiss record with Daboll when we're moving? Like, if they would lose this weekend, that's 2-6. They would have lost 3 of their last 4. I'm just kind of wondering aloud as to, do they still have to, does he have to win even though he's developing the quarterback?
Now you're moving the goalposts because coming into this year, nobody thought the New York Giants were going to win. Nobody. Everybody picked them to finish dead last in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Which is where they're headed.
Yes, but now that we've seen Jackson Dart, we can't unsee it. Mm-hmm. They've got their franchise quarterback. I don't think anybody even questions that.
No.
And the head coach is the one that found him.
And is developing him.
So he's almost a first-year coach.
Well,
No, I'm asking you, do you have to reframe how you look at Daboll as this is his first year because this is his year with Jackson Dart?
Here's the way I'm framing it. Is Jackson Dart better because of Brian Daboll?
We think so.
Then why would you move on from him?
I would not.
Now, Joe Shane and the roster construction, that can be a completely separate conversation. Mm-hmm. That they don't have to be inextricably linked. But how many times have we talked about the most important thing for a young quarterback being stability?
Yep.
And if Brian Daboll identified something in this quarterback, is bringing out the best in him, the Giants, even if they're not winning games, are very competitive in these losses. That says something. Has he lost the locker room? Doesn't seem like it to me.
No.
If anything, it's the complete opposite. Because of his quarterback and the way that he is coaching him up, you're seeing this Giants team have a spark and respond and be competitive in a way that many did not anticipate prior to the season.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000%. Smalls couldn't have said it any better. I think this is a way bigger game for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Me too.
I do. Because if the New York Giants lose, I don't think it leads to the level of questions that you were intimating. But if the Philadelphia Eagles lose this game, to a New York Giants team,
hell breaks loose.
To a New York Giants team that hasn't won back-to-back division games in 5 years, the only team in the NFL over the last 5 seasons not to do so, then all of a sudden, the A.J. Brown of it all, the subtweeting, the tension that we've sensed since the outset of the season gets magnified tenfold. It feels like we're having the same conversation that we had the Thursday night game before the Thursday night game at MetLife, but it continues to be a thing for the Philadelphia Eagles in terms of not being on the same page and not being able to satisfy their best wide receiver. I don't know how you fix it. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, they've all tried to meet with A.J. Brown. Nick Sirianni, I'm sure, has had to try to sit down with them. They've had meetings as an offensive unit, and yet A.J. Brown is still not happy. I don't know how you course correct in terms of the trajectory of the Philadelphia Eagles season.
But if they lose this game, someone's going to have to wear it. And it's going to be interesting to see who they impute.
Impute? You don't think we're going to, why? Because we're close to a break, you don't think we're going to pick up on impute as the word of the day? Really?
I thought because we were running out of time.
Because I don't listen. If we I'm listening at all times.
Impute.
Are you?
To accuse
Yes.
or lay blame
So
on
you're not
someone.
new, though.
Justin, our boss, the one thing he consistently says to me that's nice, he wants to throw me out the window half the time, is that I'm a good listener.
I should have filibustered until the end and then
That's what
just
it is.
dropped an impute in
Right
there.
at the hard
Man,
out. Right
I
at
thought you'd be thinking